charges, their current account maintenance charges, performance bond fees, advance payment guarantee fees, bills for collection against acceptance fees, to cash handling charge, stamp duty charge, others that stopped checks fee, card maintenance fee,
electronic transfer levy,
debit card charges, international withdrawal charges, short message service,
that one no good,
alert fees, among others. This I said, how much we contact the account?
As you are sending me money,
you know that already.
2 alerts, and I'm transferring money. I'm receiving 3 alerts.
500 and something naira that they used to send me SMS, and I did not even do transaction because I was not around.
Let me finish this one.
They wished you happy birthday.
SMS cannot be more than 10 naira.
But they pay.
No,
And they now said that the banks that they always target the last day of each month or first of a new month to take this their monthly fees and commissions.
That's what they always do.
They said that industry statistics showed that more than 400,000 customers has lodged complaints. Imagine 400,000 customers, but only 10% of those transactions have been reversed, leaving a large number of their customers disgruntled. They now said that the one that came to their attention is an SMS alert to a Lagos-based customer at ABC Amodu, which alerted her that 4,500 will be withdrawn from her savings account. 4,500 naira. That's a lot for someone's savings account. And for what exactly? This is bad, though. Something has to be done. But the banks are making money off you.
It's something that we should discuss as a hot topic. It's something that we should discuss with our legislators, because there must be a system with which we can checkmate what is happening. The charges are increasing, surprisingly increasing, and when we were not aware of the policies that brought about the changes, I'm like, when did we sign a new policy? Are they implementing a new policy? Why is this? Why am I having more charges every transaction? And in recent time, my account had been used for something. So I'm like, you send me money, I'm paying. I send money, I'm paying. It's
cash
too much.
Should be free, because even in the UK, nobody charges. They have listings for free withdrawals.
As well. Let me take this conversation about ADC members that they are asking to void former Senate President David Mark, and as well as Aregbesola from taking over leadership of the party. The party's national chairman, Ralph Nwosu, has resigned to pave way for the new one-time Senate president and former Minister of Interior, Aregbesola, to manage the party in terms of being the national, and then another person as president, national secretary, and all of that. But they've gone to court. A case was filed by Emmanuel Adeyemi, Ayodeji Tolu, and Aruno Ismail, and they're asking the court to determine the legality of the interim leadership, and they avert the lack of the system for now doesn't look good to them. So here's my challenge. APC, we have APC, we have PDP. A lot of PDP moved to ADC. ADC now is undergoing challenge within themselves. What are the parties we are going to be voting for?
That's not our business.
I'm surprised those of us was able to get into the ADC, knowing that President Obasanjo, that's his new party.
Moving on to the Punch, major headline: July flood alert. 20 states at risk despite 620 billion intervention. NIMET forecast flooding in Lagos, Edo, Benue, 17 others in July. And state faces scrutiny over 620 billion naira ecological fund. Then we have the picture story of Kenya anti-government protests, which has led to the death of 10 people and dozens injured. In other stories, we have Nigeria's reforms push yet to reach masses. That's from the IMF. Ladoja next in line as tributes flowing for late Olubado. 2027 firestorm as APC coalition battle for northern leaders, ADC leaders. ADC accuses federal government of bankroom deals with northern leaders as APC films. And U.S. Embassy begins screening of Nigerian students' social media accounts. What you post online lives on. ASU branches suspend lecturers over delayed June salary. And Senate braces for showdown as Natasha returns today, which we can only take one story before the break.
Quickly. So the 20 states that NIMET is flagging down for flash floods are Sokoto, with the highest risk of experiencing flash floods. Zamfara, Kaduna, Yobe, Bauchi, Bayelsa, Jigawa, Adamawa, Taraba, Niger, Nasarawa, Benue, Ogun, Ondo, Lagos, Delta, Edo, Cross River, Rivers, and Akwa Ibom. and these are coastal states towards the end, you know, and sadly, 620 billion ecological fund have come out already, and we do not see any form of dredging. We don't see any form of preparation. Already up north, they've experienced floods in certain states. The president has been trying to mitigate those Niger and Kwara community that experienced flood. They lost people close to, I think, over 500. I took it.
The one I took in May was over 120. This is what I spent the last 2 weeks learning.
Okay, you were not around.
So I went to a region that is very coastal, and they farm, because it's coastal, they utilize water. You know, they tame the water.
It's not harming them.
It's not
they
harming
are now
them.
maximizing
so
it.
When they need to float, they float. When they need to, you know, their houses, they are built specifically for their region. You know, and we see our governors already now, because they have removed subsidy. President has been giving them largesse. They are just getting money.
That's even separate from this 620
this
billion.
Is separate. No, that is separate. That's why I'm saying already now. Now with the 620 billion ecological fund due to certain states, I shouldn't be hearing of flooding in Delta, Edo, and I shouldn't. It shouldn't be. You know, something should be preparing them.
But I saw in the papers yesterday saying
NIMET is saying if you are in that state, prepare or relocate.
Despite the increase in fact, their debt profile is still high for this state. So
all right, let's take a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with front page review. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Terra Cube is available in beef, chicken, jollof and shrimp flavors at attractive prices of 100, 200, 500 naira along with saver and super saver packs.
Terra Cube, unwrap joy, unleash taste.
Some say learning is fun, but as a mom, I see how demanding it can be for my child. That's why I ensure he starts every day with a cup of Bonvita. Bonvita. Prepare them to win every day.
It's amazing how your child grows up before your eyes. Enable their thriving development with the new NanKid 4 with HMOs to support your child's development, probiotics and high-quality proteins. And all of these work together to support your child's development and growth today and tomorrow. NanKid 4, nourish your child's potential.
Mealtime is game on. Meet my Sure Bet Game Changer, made from natural ingredients to deliver game-changing chicken aroma and taste for my whole team.
Mom, why did we not use this before?
Upgrade your chicken game with game-changing chicken flavor from Maggi Chicken.
The world needs moms. With a splash of golden Terra oil, a mom can transform a frown into a smile. Change no thanks into yes please. And resolve family feuds without blowing a whistle. Providing tasty family meals is all that matters. Where there are moms, there is love. Golden Terra Oil. Pour pure love.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We'll continue front page review with the Punch watch story.
I have Senate braces for showdown as Natasha plans return today.
Okay.
They said there's palpable fear that the Senate leadership may clash with the suspended lawmaker representing Kogi Central Senatorial District, Natasha Akpoti-Dua, following her threat to attend plenary today. The upper chamber is, however, bracing for a showdown, insisted that it would not take any official action on the matter until the review of the certified true copy of the court's pronouncement. Natasha had told her supporters in a video trending on social media that she would resume her legislative activities in the Red Chamber on Tuesday. That's today. She expressed gratitude to her constituents for standing by her following the favorable court judgment that reaffirmed her position in the Senate. The court declared that the 6-month suspension imposed on her was excessive, unconstitutional, and an infringement on the rights of her constituents, and ordered that she be recalled from suspension. It also fined her the sum of $5 million for contempt of court over a Facebook post deemed to have violated an earlier court order. So this is what we will be dealing with today. So we'll see,
updates.
We'll hear updates, and we're excited to see her go back there, and then I'm even more excited to see how she'll be received and what will happen as a result.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyways, the next story is about the fact that actions will always have consequences.
Really?
The United States mission in Nigeria has announced that all applicants for F, M, and J non-immigrant visas must now adjust their social media from private setting to public setting. F, M, and J visas are non-immigrant visa categories issued by the United States government for individuals coming to the country for educational and exchange programs or purposes. The mission stated that applicants in those categories must now set their personal pages to public as a new visa requirement, that they can go there and see everything that you post and everything that you're doing, or people that you're connected to. The development was announced via the United States Diplomatic Mission Nigeria official X page on Monday, noting that the update was effective immediately. So please, let's be guided. The things we say, the things we post, the things we write, comments we leave on social media, they all have, repercussions.
That's a good hot topic.
It's a good hot topic because somebody was turned back from her US trip because of what she posted on Instagram.
Oh yeah, that trended itself.
Whatever you do, be wise. So I want to take the story on ASU. The ASU branches that have they suspended lectures because salary wasn't paid. Sadly, students are going to have to deal with the reality. The Academic Staff Union of Universities have announced the suspension of services following the delay in the payment of their salaries. If we can recall, the national president of ASU, Professor Chris Piwana, had earlier in an interview with Punch mentioned that the union will invoke a no pay, no work policy, similar to what the government also implemented. And they said since there's delay in the payment of June salaries so far, academics across universities and other tertiary institutions have been paused. They listed a few universities that have been involved. They said that salaries were not paid and government should release the salaries of the ASU staff if they want work to continue. I just feel that, like I said, one of the things I learned in China is education. You cannot lead a people out of poverty if they are not educated. It's impossible. We cannot grow this country without education. So not paying salaries of lecturers is just an indication of how we don't really want the future to change. Moving on to Daily Sun, a major headline. Senate, showdown looms as Natasha vows to resume. Embattled senator says suspension doesn't come from her serving constituents. You have a picture story of Governor Peter Mbah of Enugu State, as well as the Minister of Aviation, Festus Keyamo, Deputy Governor of Enugu State, Ifeanyi Osai, all of them, and the Commissioner of Transportation, as well as the Catholic Bishop of the diocese, during the inauguration of 3 aircraft for the commencement of operations of Enugu Air, a newly established state-owned. That picture it tells the story, and I'm sure a lot of Enugu people are happy. PMS, we're redirecting subsidy savings to infrastructure others. That's from the president. Keyamo inaugurates Enugu Air, describes Mbah as one of the best governors. In other news, 7 banks race for $965 billion amid rising recapitalization pressure. One term enough for sincere leaders to make impact. That's from Obi. Ex-Oyo Governor Ladoja set to roll as the 43rd Olubado dies. Tinubu Makinde Sultan, Emir of Ilorin, others commiserate with the Oba Olakolenyi family. So, what story are we starting with?
I have Keyamo inaugurates Enugu Air.
Again.
This is fantastic news. I agree. Yes, so the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Mr. Festus Keyamo, yesterday inaugurated Enugu Air, a state-owned commercial airline established by Governor Peter Mbaya administration with 3 Embraer airplanes for a start. The minister recalls the governor's persistence and energy in bringing Enugu Air to reality. He described him, the Minister of Aviation described the governor as an incredible performing governor, noting that it will be difficult to defeat him in 2027. So he's already even campaigning for him. He says, given the level of work he had done in just 2 years, he described him, he says that from the moment he was announced minister, he said this governor did not rest. He came to visit him. He did not wait for them to come to him. He was always in Abuja trying to make sure that this was, done. He said the governor was relentless, persistent, and pushing to the extent that I asked this private sector experience you are bringing to Enugu, do you want Enugu to explode? It was incredible. And so this is good news, as we said, and I think that this governor really deserves recognition for his hard work. I've taken his stories from the very beginning, from when he was inaugurated, and I've always heard good things. Nearly every month, there's something new that he's doing that's quite impactful on that stage.
Mentor younger ones. Don't finish and go now. You do once in a lifetime. So I have the capitalization. 7 banks face 965 billion naira gap. So the banks were supposed to recapitalize about 500 billion for first-year banks, and 200 billion, in various grades like that. And so only 4 of these banks have met their recapitalization status. That's Access, Zenith, EcoBank, and Lotus and Jaiz Bank. So only of them have met their status. All the other banks, FCMB, Fidelity Bank, GTCO, UBA, First Bank Holdings Company, Sterling Bank, Stanbic, IBTC, and all of them have not been able to meet it. So cumulatively, all of them have to now go and find the balance, because they have tried, but they have a balance of 965 billion to cover the gap amid the capitalization pressure from CBN. The deadline is 2026 July, so January 2026 January. So they have a short period of time to meet it, and I'm hoping that they have things that they can do to meet it. That's basically the story.
Okay. So the presidential candidate of Labour Party LP in the 2023 election, Mr. P2B, has said that a 4-year single term is enough for any serious and sincere candidate to make an impact in Nigeria. Obi, in a statement issued by the spokesman of Peter Obi Media Reports, Ibrahim Omar, also said a single term of 4 years would also respect, in 2027, would respect the zoning process and stabilize the polity. He said that this is just a gentleman's agreement that is not within our constitution, but we all know about it, and then it's important that that is respected. He also said that he will not do a day above or over the 4 years if given the chance opportunity to serve, and that if a government can destroy a country in 2 years, that imagine what that shade. Did you get that shade? That in 4 years you can imagine what a good governing body can do. Then when asked if he was running, his running mate was former Vice President Atiku Abubakar in 2027 election, he said that that is not in play, that nobody has ever discussed that. He said that people assume a lot of things, but that nobody has ever discussed whether he's going to be A, B, or C. Yes, he also dispelled the speculation that he had left LP following his open support for the coalition, which has adopted the African Democratic Congress. Yes. So, we just need to keep watching and seeing how this is going to unfold, because like a movie, it's like a movie is about to, to happen.
They should continue. Moving on to Nigerian Tribune. Global trade tension over fresh US 10% tariff hike on Nigeria, BRICS nations, as Trump decries anti-America policy of bloc. I have no plans to join ADC. That's from Oyebanji. ASU directs members to withdraw services over delayed salaries. Unijos, Uni Abuja already joined the strike. JITAS as federal government strips FAN, NCAA, NAMA of revenue collection powers. Local government funds. Osun people angry with you. APC leaders of thoughts tell Tinubu. Tinubu, Makinde, Sultan, Alaafin, others pay tributes as Olubado joint ancestors at 90. The NAF airstrikes hits terrorist hideout on Mandara Mountain and it kills scores. North ganging up against Tinubu from APC National Secretary. We didn't accuse NNPCL of stealing 210 trillion naira, but asked to account for it. That's from the Senate committee. The stakeholders have asked INEC to account for over 300 billion IREV allocation for 2023 election, and they seek constitutional amendment for police to prosecute anyone indicted by the National Assembly. So what story are we starting with? Okay, so
the revenue collection powers of the FAN, the NCAA,
all this division.
Yes, they are among the 63 ministries and departments that the Nigerian Revenue Service Establishment Bill has withdrawn their powers to collect money. So now they will queue and collect their money from federal allocations and wait for federal allocations. So experts are saying that this might cause problems within the sector, you know. But I've always wondered, especially because I passed the toll gate at the airport towards the Solo, that where does this money go? Who audits this money? How do this money, how are they utilized with the airport looking the state that is still looking? You know, did you arrive at
it's the same airport?
The shock of
the old one.
The entire thing is just doesn't. With the kind of money that gate pays, an SUV is 500, and you know how many SUVs go through there? I have to go through there every evening. It's not for the airport, it's for the community, you see. Because it was somebody that went to do road, and I'm wondering, where does the money go? Infrastructure and things like that should grow within the airport. It shouldn't be for salaries only.
Definitely.
But now they've withdrawn their powers of revenue collection, and I'm hoping that we can hold government responsible if we cannot hold individuals or the FAN responsible, but they don't have powers to collect money anymore.
All right, that's all we can take on Front Page Review for today. When we return, we'll continue with our hot topics. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Breaking news. The home is under attack by stains, disease-causing germs, and so much more. An all-out war. But not for long, because Hypo is here.
Dirty floors and surfaces.
Not on our watch.
Protect every day with Hypo. Dirty and stains no fit do us shakara. We got the remedy, original palasa. Hypo, go Hypo. Protect your home every day with Hypo. Cleaning every surface, sanitizing home. Shine every corner, enter every corner. Your sitting room, kitchen, even the toilets. For cleaning, Hypo now, no lose guard, protect your home with Hypo now.
And just like that, the day is saved.
Mommy, Daddy, we have so much fun.
Germs always find a way back.
No green. Protect every day with Hypo.
Hypo go Hypo.
Morrison said.
Stay confident, stay focused, breathe through it with TomTom.
It's amazing how your child grows up before your eyes. Enable their thriving development with the new NanKid 4 with HMOs to support your child's development, probiotics and high-quality proteins. And all of these work together to support your child's development and growth today and tomorrow. NanKid 4, nourish your child's potential.
Mealtime is game on. Meet my Sure Bet Game Changer, made from natural ingredients to deliver game-changing chicken aroma and taste for my whole team.
Mom, why did we not use this before?
suitable for jollof rice, stew, spaghetti, and yam portage. Cook to impress.
Argentina, champions of the world!
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. This morning we have the distinct honor of hosting Her Royal Highness Princess Olayemi Sura Anima Shaun, the visionary chairman of the Ekpe local government area of Lagos State with a proven track record of transformative leadership. Princess Anima Shaun has brought significant positive change to Ekpe. She is a champion of quality healthcare, education, security and empowerment. We'll be discussing her achievements, challenges and plans for the second term. So get ready for an insightful conversation with our guests. Let's dive in and explore Ekpe, the future of Lagos. That's what everybody has been saying. And you get to be one of those who have been, over the past few years, championing the achievements within that area. Welcome to the show, Princess Anima Shaun.
Good morning. Thanks for bringing me here.
Fantastic.
Yes.
So you can join the conversation. We'd like people from Ekpe to call into the show, what she's done, what you would like her to do. Call the numbers right now on the screen, 020-1635-2013 or 090-241-63440. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your views so that we can read your tweets. We're also streaming live on YouTube where you can drop your comments and we'll love to hear from you. So the first thing I'd like to ask, because one of the things, when any politician comes, like, oh, tell us what you have achieved, you know, tell us what you have done over the past, your first tenure. But I'd like to take the perspective of when you were campaigning for your first tenure, what was the promise you made? And of those promises, how many have you achieved?
Thank you very much. I'm glad I'm here this morning. During my first tenure, it was very, it wasn't really good. It was like, how is she going to do it? Because it's, in the history of Ekpe, the division entirely, there's never been a female chairman. Wow. So how is she going to do it? And you know, we are more like indigenous proper. You know, we have the upland, we have the riverine, so we are more like, you know, we are real typical indigenous community. And in that same community, I have dual community. I have the Ijebu and I have the Ekwekwe. So it's very, like, and coupled with it, I'm a princess as well. So people were like, how can, dad is a king and she wants to rule us again. So how are you going to, you know, do that? But as God we have it, I was able to, you know, prove myself beyond the expectation of the people. And I tried every of the promises that I made to my people, I was able to fulfill them. And in Ekpe, what I saw before I emerged was, I noticed that we have more women working, and most of our men is that they are out of the community doing their stuff. But inside the community, we have more women in the community. And I tried my best to bring the woman closer to the administration. I empower them more. I have them in different categories. We have the aged and the young ones. So I try to look at how, and first I change their orientations and their mentality. And yes, you can't just be a woman, rearing babies, doing stuff like that. And we are known as fish farmers. So I tried my best. Okay, fish farming, we can always upgrade. We can facelift what we are doing. And then I try to bring in people. So we partner with many people from the international bodies. That's enable them to, be more advanced in their fish farming and all. So now we have, because initially some people believe our fish is very, very special. And the fish in Ekpe, it's rare. And it's not easy to breed.
Okay.
It has to come from our water. So we try to manage that, and people are started breeding it. We have ponds from, different angles.
Okay, so in terms of challenges, right? Because like you mentioned, this is the first time a woman is handling this position. So in terms of challenges, what kind of challenges have you faced, and how have you, tried to negotiate or to overcome them? And then secondly, in terms of mentoring, knowing that men have over the years occupied this position, and as a woman that's been on this seat, how have you mentored other women to be able to be in the place for there to be continuity and opportunities for other women?
Exactly. Like I said, the first thing I did was I bring women closer to the administration. And if you look at, even in my, in the secretariat now, you have more women as in the management level. And in the history of Ekpe, we don't have female councillors, but now we have female councillors. In the ESCO members, we don't have. Now we have about 4 female in the last this ending tenure. So I try to bring women into politics and let them know not just to be going about singing, dancing and all. There are more things that you can do. You can, innovations and inventions. You can do so many other things, and we are able to make use of our water hyacinths, to make so many things. We bring in people, they produce bags, so many other things. So I make them independent. You don't have to rely on men. You don't have to rely on people to survive. And I'm telling them it's not about your degree or your, you can always be somebody if you, exactly, no matter the level and all. And at the same time, you can improve more in your educational distance just to achieve whatever you want to achieve.
I am one to believe that education is education, no matter, it's not in the 4 walls of school. So,
exactly.
I went to school in 3 weeks and I learned something I would have learned in a year if I was paid for
depending on the kind of,
So I prefer being taught hands-on.
Exactly.
And I believe that, just as you have said, the culture of the Ekpe people is also the empowerment.
Exactly.
The fishing. Ekpe is known for tourism, all of that. My question really, that was an aside. How are you dealing with tourism? The way we know Ekpe, apart from the fish market, is that Ekpe is it has a beautiful scenery.
Exactly.
You drive through Ekpe. The first time I went to Ekpe, I was old, and that was 96.
Oh, that's a long time.
My Quran teacher, my imam, is from Ekpe.
Oh,
so when he did one of his, I think the Wolima, we had to travel. So Ekpe, I love the community. Just traveling, So how are you utilizing, maximizing that, to make more money, to increase revenue in Ekpe?
Yes. It's part of the challenges that we have. If you look at Ekpe, since we have been to Ekpe, you know that we don't have more infrastructures and so many other things, and we don't have much of that. So I was able to, while I was a supervisor on environment, so I tried to add tourism to it. So I was a supervisor on environment and tourism at that time. So that enabled me to look at all, because we are very rich in culture. We have this kind of festivals and also I try to promote them, and I have my age group in the community, so we have names, so I try to facelift that culture. And if I'm one of the 100 personalities in tourism in Nigeria, and I'm a fellow of Federal Institute of Hospitality and Tourism in Nigeria. So that I was able to bring in people. Even I was able to bring the Minister for Tourism to Ekpe. At that time, I trained tour guides, I trained people, to know that we can always make money through tourism. And this has, been striving in Ekpe. And aside that, tourism is something that I believe it revolves around everything we do in our lives. We have educational tourism, we have agricultural tourism, different kind of tourism. So every September, I did, two years ago, I did something, and they call it Berry Arulu. It's like a film, a stage play. I was the one I feature, and I did it, and everybody. I invited everybody to know that exactly. Yes. So I partner with Footprints of David. We all did very fantastic, and that's I tried to capture everything in that culture together, and I did Berry Arulu. So everybody was like, wow, wow, wow. And so everybody, representative of the governor was there, and everybody. And later I took that film to the Lagos State Festival, and we came first.
Oh, amazing.
So it was, we are trying, and I know we will still get there. Yeah. But every September 9, everybody is looking towards yes, that what is she bringing to
So you're also being, you're described as a champion for a lot of things, but one thing that they mentioned is security and of course empowerment, as you have mentioned.
Exactly.
But as you know, Ekpe is opening up to the rest of Lagos, even the whole of Nigeria. I think there's some people, when they think of property, they are thinking Ekpe.
Exactly.
So I'm imagining that there's lots of opportunities coming in there. In what way are you helping women to tap into these opportunities that are coming into
let me first, say a very big thank you to our president, because for giving women privilege.
Let me go on a break. I don't want to cut you in between the answer.
Okay.
We'll take a quick break right now. When we return, we'll continue with the conversation, and she'll get to answer the question that Mariam just asked. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Thank
you. Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Oh, what wish a Monday. Good luck.
Yeah, Chupa Chups.
It's giving, it's popping. Chupa Chups gum filled lollipop.
Back in 63, we landed Nigeria with nourishment, day in, day out. Every day. Now the nourishment is back again, cleared the way. For our tasty, creamy, nourishing yogurt.
Hola, familia. I enjoy the new tasty, creamy, and nourishing Fan Yogo drinking yogurt. Contains vitamins D, E, B1, B12, and zinc. Go for delicious plain or strawberry Fan Yogo. Fan Yogo, original Nigeria yogurt.
Trust Nivea Perfect and Radiant Body Lotion to reveal your skin's natural radiance. The same unique formula enriched with berry extracts, even tone complex, and UV filters to reduce dark spots and even out your skin tone. For radiant and even tone skin, say hello again to Nivea Perfect and Radiant Body Lotion. Try the full Nivea Perfect and Radiant range to unlock your most radiant self.
This girl and many more children like her will never forget today. They felt grit. They felt determination. They felt the power of sport. Throughout this year, 7.5 million children across Nigeria will feel the same power through Milo. But we won't stop there. Next year, we'll reach even more schools, more communities, and inspire more champions.
Imagine lovely meals you can cook with these ingredients. You spend heavily, but no guarantee of a tasty meal. Not making a right choice of seasoning cube can ruin your meal, money, and confidence. For a tasty meal, do not compromise. Choose Gold.
Use Terra Gold for the rich, consistent taste your loved ones crave for. Good for soups, stews, and jollof. Terra Gold. 1 cube, endless possibilities.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We still have with us the Honorable Chairman of Ekpe Local Government, Chairperson. You know, we always used to call him Chairman of Ekpe Local Government, Princess Anima Shan. Thank you so much for being with us. Mariam asked a question before we went on a break. You can.
Exactly, yes. Like I was saying, I really want to say thank you to our president because we are product of renewed hope, and we need to we need to follow the precedents that our president has, laid for the people in Lagos State, especially. Like I said earlier, that in terms of infrastructure, I'm not talking about rules or structures or whatever. I'm talking about we don't have more companies or people to come and invest in our community. So that's, we don't have enough IGR. So, but in terms of good roads and so many other things, I think Ekpe has advanced. We have more good roads, infrastructures, and so many other things. But I'm talking about, generating IGR from whatever it's in place, we don't really have, except the local government. So that has made me to empower more women. And we have assets in our local governments, and we open up for partnership and so many other things for people to come to Ekpe. And that's why we lay emphasis and we improve more in our security agencies. We have local securities, we put them together, we work with the Lagos State, we work with the CP. So we have the tactical team, they work with the Ibile community. We have many other local securities that were trained. Yes, so they were well trained, and they work with.
There were reports of kidnapping taking place within Ekpe.
Yes, that's it. Maybe my LCD, and we are really improving. The tactical team are already on ground in Ekpe, looking around for where and other porous areas.
So you're happy with the work the police is doing?
Oh, they're really trying their best. They are really trying their best, and we are working together with the police. So Ekpe is very secure, and the ambience and everything is very, very good.
Okay, it's one thing to be secured, but it's another thing that when you're calling in investors or partners, to make sure that the Omoniles or the locals don't are not a threat to the investors that are coming in terms of.
Yes, that's I'll give Mr. Governor kudos to that, because that has really, really changed, and the House of Assembly too has make sure that anybody that turns out to be Omonile and starts causing unnecessary distance will be brought to book. So that's.
Let me take this call because I have we'll talk about the real estate challenges because I do real estate today, and I have stories, good and bad. Let's take this call. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Kenito Pesoka.
Okay.
Yeah.
My name
I'm
is
calling from Ekpe. The woman there, she's a wonderful person. She's one of us at Ekpe Divisional Women Association, which I'm part of. She's so big in women empowerment. She loves them, women of Ekpe so much. She gives gifts and everything. And we women of Ekpe, we are going to support her. Everything she needs, we are going to support her. Yes, I'm pledging our support.
On national television. Thank you, Madam Kenita, for your contribution. So you definitely have the support of women and women. I wanted to ask concerning real estate. There's been a lot of activities and conversation around real estate with Ekpe. Ekpe is the new Lagos. Come and buy in Ekpe. Many real estate developers
Lagos State.
Bought, yes,
the modern Ekpe.
They bought land from customary owners of the land, and then we have NTDA saying all documentation has been suspended, and now people have already paid customary owners. Infrastructure were being demolished a few months back where they said they didn't have approval. How are you navigating and working with NTDA and the state government to manage and prevent crisis within the real estate space?
Yes, that's where my assemblyman comes in, Honorable Abiodun Tobu. So all this has been referred to the House of Assembly, and they are, they invited them, and things have been, we are resolving them in bits. Different stories were on ground. Yes, exactly. So we try to manage it, and since in the last 1 or 2 years, there's no crisis of fighting or anything. It's either we take them to the House of Assembly or we go back to the round table to sort it out. So that's what we are doing now.
So elections, we have elections coming up.
I just wanted to commend her simplicity because I walked past her this morning. I didn't know she was our guest. The reason is because she did not have 6 PA.
6 PA, cameraman, secure protocol.
Nobody doing her media, so her simplicity is really inspiring.
Thank you.
And do your work and let your work speak for you.
Exactly.
Okay, so elections is supposed to be
on the 12th.
Yes, on the 12th, and so you're going again for second term, and you're contesting. I'd like you to leave us with the final words to those that are going to be voting in Ekpe local government.
I want to appreciate them because before I was given the ticket, it wasn't easy. It shows the kind of love they have for me, and I want to appreciate the people of Ekpe, and I want them to come out. It's not even about winning. I need the figure.
The numbers should show. People should come out and be participating.
Exactly, that's what we need. And at the same time, I want them to know that I still have a whole lot, to give to my people. And all this criticism and all, and is welcome, but I can assure them that I'll work on every other thing that they believe they want me to do. I'll work on it.
I love the final sentence that the criticisms are welcomed and you would implement it. I'm partial. Once I see women in leadership, I believe they should get every support necessary, and we're proud. Ikola has already indicated how proud they are in Ekpe of what you're doing, and we're looking forward to the Saturday election. Get involved. It's not just about tweeting and complaining. Local government election is this Saturday. We all have a responsibility for those of us that live in Lagos to step out and vote. All right, that's what we can take on this segment. We'll take a quick break.
Good luck.
When we return, we'll continue with the show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Breaking news. The home is under attack by stains, disease-causing germs, and so much more. An all-out war. But not for long, because Hypo is here.
Dirty floors and surfaces.
Not on our watch.
Protect every day with Hypo.
Dirty and stains, no do shakara. We got the remedy, original palasa. Hypo, go hypo. Protect your home every day with Hypo. Cleaning every surface, sanitizing home. Shine every corner, enter every corner. Your sitting room, kitchen, even the toilets. For cleaning, Hypo now, no lose guard, protect your home with Hypo now.
And just like that, the day is saved. Germs always find a way back.
No greed. Protect every day with Hypo.
Hypo go Hypo. When I say golden, you say penny. When I say golden, you say penny. Golden penny, golden penny. Wake up to breakfast with my golden penny. I enjoy my first choice, nourishing goodness every morning. Oh, yummy dishes every day. Mama's recipe they upgrade when she's using golden penny. Quality we deliver. Crunchy snacks, golden penny. Serving happiness, nourishing. Golden penny, yummy golden penny, delicious golden penny. Serving. Yummy golden penny, delicious golden penny.
Golden Penny, home of good foods, serving happiness, nourishing families. Yum!
Good, tasty food is worth living for. Worried about your oil every time you enjoy your favorite meal? Introducing Smart Balance. Smart Balance rice bran oil is rich in gamma-oryzanol. Several studies suggest that gamma-oryzanol may contribute to the reduction of bad cholesterol. Golden Terra Smart Balance oil. Good food, no worries.
Chef.
Mr. Chef, what's your secret?
My secret is the wide range of seasoning powders from Mr. Chef. Perfect for meals
such as spicy stew, goat meat, roasted beef, fried rice, and coca.
Unleash your inner chef and explore our wide range of Mr. Chef seasoning powder.
No buy am! But why? No see say this big bull bag of rice no get the new big bull holographic seal. Not true.
Introducing the Big Bull Holographic Seal Tape, your favorite authentic Big Bull rice, 50 kg and 25 kg. Now with holographic seal tape. This is to ensure you get the premium product from Big Bull Rice. Do not buy if the holographic seal tape is not on the bag or is broken. Big Bull Rice. Tasty rice nourished you.
Imagine a country with over 320 languages. Why you go the only focus on Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo? Where we get a common language where they unite everybody from Oga to even Madam self and every person waiting for street. That's now why we dey introduce you 89.9 Yanga FM, the #1 urban pidgin radio station where they unite us all. From the award-winning breakfast show Waiting Day with your brother, your friend Wale Po.
Everywhere. So Bobo.
It a joke for this song.
This na Cruise Express.
And this go be the best 4 hours of our life. Country people, make una join us.
Now we be What's Up Naija crew. Now we they give you what they sup for inside we country.
Yes, so
keep it loud.
If God be your papa, why you not gonna make younger?
About Wahala.
Now here we they settle all the matter.
Bro, we right here. Nobody better than we, right?
Okay, now whispers be that. Make I just be the last sensible voice where you go hear.
Now we be 89.9 Yanga FM.
Level 2, electrified fence.
Space is terrifying. Let's get out of here.
Hey Nick fam! Remember, Nick on TVC is your one-stop for engaging children's shows like El Tigre, Paw Patrol, SpongeBob SquarePants, Kung Fu Panda, and lots more to keep the kids glued to their screens. Catch us on Mondays to Fridays at 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays and Sundays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on TVC.
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known. For when the wailing stops, the pieces settle down in abject beauty erected for a century of a century. Speaking, advocating, protesting as the arts are meant to be.
Argentina, champions of the world!
Doubt and fear doesn't occur at the canvas, it shows in the canvas. It shows the conation of raw earthen material slabbed, stroked, and molded at a pace provided by the doubt and fear. Every move weigh in the struggle of one to the other, merging the past to the present, brushstrokes of colors seen but not known.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Before we move into our hot topic, we are going to be disconnecting from the DSTV platform. We are joining a live of the policy meeting of the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, which is currently taking place at the Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center, Central Area, Abuja, and whatever the policy would come up with, you can watch it. But for you to continue watching our show, please join us on YouTube, where we are currently streaming, because we will no longer be available on the current platform. All right. A disturbing video of a woman feeding her infant alcohol sparked outrage in Nigeria. This act, allegedly intended to help the child sleep better, poses serious health risk. The Nigerian police force has launched an investigation and urged the public to provide information, and the citizens can actually reach out to the police via 091 699 67000. I'll call the number again, 091 699 67000, to aid in identifying the woman. The police prioritizes the health of children and their welfare, and the child rights advocates condemn the act and demand swift action. The police has vowed to apprehend the mother and ensure justice is maintained, is served. We want to discuss this because we're all mothers. You can join the conversation and call us on 02016352013, or you can call us on 09024163440. Tweet to us #TVC, hashtag your view on TV, so we can read your tweet, or you could also stream. Join us on our streaming platform and then just put in your comment there. Now, this conversation, when I watched the video, I was like, what level of ignorance would make a woman do this? What level of selfishness would make a mother do this? Why would you give your child the alcoholic drink? Like, this is, even me, I find that drink to be a very, very strong drink as an adult. Giving it to a minor. Nima, what was your first reaction when you saw a baby? Baby, like baby. I want this baby to sleep. It's not cough syrup again. It's not spiriting anymore.
So
hard drink.
I cannot pretend to sit here and say that I've not seen this before. And it's very hard.
Oh, that's sad.
Very sad. I can't pretend. It's not documented. I don't think I've seen any statistics of it. But women of the South, our people in the Sapele and the Delta, our people in the Benin, they pride themselves in, the alcohol they take after childbirth to calm down. The thing not flow away. Take something. Take kai, do shekpe, all of those things. They pride themselves. So growing up, I had this a Shekiri neighbor, and whenever they give birth, it's bottle they bring, the beer bottle. And they'll be
that's for the adults now.
No, when you're breastfeeding, everything you take goes to your baby.
Goes to the baby.
So I would see some drowsiness. Everyone would just be peaceful, calm. I go dairy. She said go dairy. Baby, I go dairy.
The children are not up. They're not active.
So, but at some point, I was a bit condoning of it mentally. I thought it was okay. And people do it, nothing happened until I was waiting. So my waiting was for knowledge. God catched me because I was able to read and see how it affects the psychology of the babies, the mental, the brain development of the babies. And I was like, something that I was so accepting of like this, is this dangerous? When we give birth, there's this pepper soup they do for us, black soup. The pepper was so much that my baby was purging. I was the one consuming the soup.
But breastfeeding.
But my baby, I noticed that the first stool that we expected the baby came so easily. And then everything was just so, then I noticed that from the stool of the baby, I could test, you change the diaper, and everywhere is still hot with the spices that I had just consumed. That's how dangerous I saw it. Then now as an adult, I am dealing with one mother that I always talk about on the show that I cannot stand anymore, that I will not give her a break. Because every time she's doing exactly what that woman does, she's doing it and she's breastfeeding. And I've seen
drinking and breastfeeding.
Nima,
this video shows a woman
just for you to
drinking and then
giving how
putting
dangerous
sachet alcohol drink into the mouth of a baby. That is like race to power.
That's double the trauma that I'm going through watching that woman. People don't understand that when you're doing something bad, sometimes for worrisome people like me, you are punishing me to witness it. It's better that you don't even do such a thing or somebody arrest you. When you're breastfeeding, and now I feel that baby, her development is not going well because of that habit of her mom. So for me to just open the social media and see that one too, doing like a silly person, using and saying that will make the baby sleep. You're a lazy mother. If a baby, when I had my daughter, she would sleep normally. She would, calm down. But my son, we do 6 hours work at night, every night for him to adjust to nighttime and daytime. Babies have their adjusting period, and it's within the 40 days. Thankfully, Zip knows that it's his work because I have to sleep. Whenever the boy starts at night, he frets. And it was this guy, you know, they call it colic. Boys will cry and all of that. I will just hand over the baby, turn my side, sleep. He will bring the baby for breastfeeding and he'll keep doing the work. And then when he's going to work, he's sleepwalking. We share the work because now 2 parents picking they get. But it's a lot of work and it's for responsible adults to raise babies. If you're not ready for this thing, leave the business. You shouldn't even put your baby on sedative. You should be on exclusive breastfeeding if you want your baby to grow wholesomely. Well, talk less of you opening fenyija for the baby. You know, it's just annoying.
All right, when I saw this, I just said, you know what? We owe good mothers.
We need to celebrate them.
Yes, we need to celebrate. If you were born by a mother who even had just common sense, you don't know the blessing that you have already. There's so many stories I've seen and I've heard, you know, about mothers who are doing terribly or who don't even know any better. So these mothers, their intention is not to be evil. It's that they didn't even know that what they're doing is wrong. And then you have a mother that has common sense, has added awareness, and she gave birth to you and tried to raise you well. You don't know the blessing that you have been given. Just being born by that sort of person. Just being born by that person. Because there are some people being born today. I was listening to a live of someone who was a drug addict, gave birth to a child, sold it so she could get more money for drugs. Some human beings are being born to mothers like that. Now look at this video. Of course, at first I was incensed. I was upset. How dare she? But then I also know that I come from a country where culturally, some places like you have highlighted, it's acceptable. So when we see it in a village setting, we accept it. It's something that we've done, you know. But then when we see it on social media, we are shocked. Why would she do something like that? But probably she's looking from where she came from, where she's seen mothers, grandmothers take alcohol, give a little alcohol to children. I know people who have put a little, they may not as much as she seemed to have given that child. They dip their finger in alcohol and place it in the child's mouth. So culturally we have that. And that's where education is important. You know, you said something about education earlier. It's important. It's important when we say send them to school, primary and secondary. This is what we mean, because at that level, at least there's some information that they will get. The information is a little different from what they're learning at home. So why is alcohol even, why is it dangerous for a mother to do that? There's something called, is it fetal alcohol syndrome disorder? If you give your child alcohol, either directly or via breastfeeding, you will damage your child developmentally. The child will, the child will not develop properly. Their brain will not develop properly. They will have issues growing up. They will not be able to sit in one place. They will not be able to do work. They will not be able to make good decisions in life. They will struggle with making proper decisions in life. And we have so many children being born this way. And what hurts me most, apart from being angry for those who just do it for being lazy, what hurts me most is that people are doing it because they don't know any better. And in 2025, we shouldn't have a Nigerian mother that doesn't know any better. Education is important. The Ministry of Women Affairs, some of the grassroots projects and initiatives, these are the things that we're talking about. CSOs, NGOs, these are the sort of information we're talking about. I was talking to my mom. My mom spent her weekend doing medical outreach. And she was saying how sometimes she just realized that a lot of Nigerians just go and they'll just say to a doctor or whatever, I'm sick. They give them medicine. She says she realized that people don't even have information. Yeah, I have high blood pressure. They gave me this. She says, no, before you are given a high blood pressure medication, you would have done a minimum of 3 tests to see if there's something that is affected by something you do, or, you know, they are not just meant to be handed medicine. She says if she were to own an NGO, it will be about educating our people. And that's what I say. There's a lack of education concerning so many things. We're just living life. Whatever happens, happens. That's really sad.
So, when I saw that, I was outraged, and you know, like
weak. You are still weak, Chef.
Yes, you know. Also, like with what Nima Mariam has said, like the effect of the secondary transfusion in terms of breastfeeding. Because when I went to see my sister for her 40th, she took a bottle of a glass of wine, and she said, "Oh, that she has not tasted alcohol. She drinks. I don't drink. That she has not tasted alcohol in 7-8 years that she had her kids because she's a doctor and she's a specialist with breastfeeding mothers and stuff like that. So she now told me how important not drinking when you're breastfeeding, how it affects the brain and everything of a child. I knew that was a problem, but I didn't know how in depth. She even wrote a book on that. But anyways, I was outraged when I saw this, but I want to look at it from a different perspective, right? Because basically, Nima and Mariam has said all we need to know on this. But when the mother was given the child, I watched that video like a couple of times, was given the child that alcohol. I noticed that the child didn't make a different type of, they didn't cry, didn't make, it wasn't shocked, the taste of that alcohol, right? So then it blend. So I'm thinking in my head, like, it's normal. You know how people are constantly chasing clout and content creators trying to create nonsense and different things on social media, right? And that's why I'm happy how the United States now have said that for visa requirements, you have to open up your pages so that they can see what you're doing, know the kind of person that you are. So I think that maybe that's my thought too, that she put juice or something, because the child there was no reaction from the child to taste something.
What if it's something the child is already used to?
There's a possibility, but I also want us to look at it from a different angle. To also,
she cut some. She did like this.
No, if you notice, look at it, the way she cut that thing, the thing was already open. I watched that video over and over again. Look at it properly. She acted as if she cut the thing, but maybe she had already cut it already. She already cut it. Yes, she had already cut it,
but
right?
I get what you're saying.
Yes. So I feel that she was just trying to create content. But then we need to be educated the kind of things we put out there. Why are you creating that kind of content? What are you trying to teach? And now you've gotten into trouble because of a useless, misinformed content that you created that affects a child. Now police and social welfare, they've carried you. So people need to be more self-aware and not allow this cloud chasing, this social media
that's even taking it from the angle of it is a social media stunt. We've seen many social media stunts. So taking it from the angle that it could be a social media stunt, why would you want to use your child drinking alcohol as a social media stunt?
Foolishness.
It already speaks of
the kind of mindset
that person has. Let me take Al-Ajia Mohammed. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
I can see the lady in...
You are live, Ajia Mohammed. Please, you are live right now. Join us.
Okay, thank you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, all the ladies there.
Thank you. Yeah, welcome to the show.
About the topic you're saying, in my area, they give babies alcohol anyhow. And when you talk to them, they tell you it boosts them. Or some will say this makes them sleep. Or some will say because they don't have money to feed, so the alcohol will make the baby sleep, and then they can do their work, whatever they want to do.
Culture.
Mostly the Yorubas do it here.
You see?
I see it a lot. But when I try to control them, they tell me what I'm saying is nonsense, because I come from the city and then I come and live here and then I don't know anything. I have money. That's what they tell me. So alcohol is nothing for some people, some ignorant people. They don't even care.
The money they used to buy alcohol
so
cook
for
small
me,
soup now.
it's not even about the cooking soup or all of that.
No,
for
if
me,
they say it's about babies hungry and then you give them alcohol so they sleep so you can...
This video, the lady was talking about giving the baby alcohol so that the baby can sleep and she can rest. When we go for antenatal, there are things, when I did my own antenatal, I did it in a general hospital and they taught us things like this. Don't drink. I used to fix my nails when I was pregnant. When I went for antenatal, they told me remove your nails, don't paint, because we need to see if you are pale. That they can just press your nail to see that you are pale. There was education. I have a pregnant person right now doing antenatal in general hospital. Ijaye. And they were not teaching. She does not know all of these things. I'm wondering, what do you do?
Go early?
She goes early, very early. I'm like, what are they teaching you? Say, when we go, we pray, sing, and then we wait. Then they market they market different things for antiseptic things for sale. I'm like, are they not teaching you how to take care of your child? Why you shouldn't drink alcohol? Like they explained in antenatal The truth is, we can't grow beyond what we know. Education is what will help you know what is good or what is bad. The fact that they've done it culturally, they used to kill twins before. It was culturally acceptable to throw a child away. A child that has health defects, they throw the child away and abandon the child. These things were happening, but we got educated, and as we got educated, we realized there are better ways to manage things. Women, mothers, people should get education on how to raise their children, because I want us just look at it that this is an ignorant parent. Of course, because that's like there are two categories: either ignorant parents or a selfish, wicked parent. So the ignorant parents, I would say, oh, let us educate these parents. But there are the categories of knowledgeable parents that are just selfishly saying, this, you won't kill me, you no go kill me, take you no go kill me kind of thing.
I started that these cultural acceptable practices, we witnessed them. You know the caller that called, what she said, I have never seen a Yoruba. In fact, the first time I saw somebody buy a beer for a 3-year-old boy, he was from the southeast, and we were having the argument. The wife just walked away because she would be domestically violated if she continued to follow my advice. And I told him, I said it wasn't healthy. The children, my son was just a little older than that boy. I was coming from work and I saw the boy. He had just had a drink from the bottle, a sip, and he gave the boy. The boy too had it. A 3-year-old, you couldn't even hold the bottle.
That's lack of education.
He told me, he said it will calm him down. So people, when you witness some of these things, these acceptances of the abnormal, the things that common sense should tell you. When you accept it, you see people copy it over and over. That man, a full adult, that was his last child. And I don't know how the other children survived him, because the small boy could not carry the bottle. He needed help to hold that bottle.
I think I've seen that video.
It's not video. It's my neighbor. It's my neighbor. I know him. He knows me. We don't confront. I'm not sorry if it's what you say. This man never forgave me, because I told him, I said, you see this, it will never pass. Because we had to fight off the bottle. I don't understand how people witness this. I told you, I said it was from reading. I understood the neurological effects of it on babies. I thought it calms the babies.
Wow.
Growing up, when
that's
they do
what
it,
they say over and over again.
If it wasn't religion, I'm sure that's something I would have copied. If it wasn't religion, I would have copied
because it's like a norm.
Because every baby would just calm down.
Area,
the mother calms down.
Everybody drinks.
But that's the effect of alcohol. Someone was saying here that how can the mother not know that she knows? Because some people don't know that she would have experienced what the alcohol does to her and know what it would do to her baby.
But if she enjoys what it does to her, she would think that the baby is enjoying the benefits as well.
The things that giving alcohol to babies would stop them from being able to build a strong nervous system. It will stop them from being able to eat well, and it might affect their respiratory, may lead to respiratory failure. Now, their growth retardation, like they won't be able to grow well if they are unable, if they are taking, if you give children alcohol, they won't grow at the optimum way they should grow. They will not feed properly, which would inhibit the normal growth they should have. The worst part of it is it increases dependency lifetime. So they are likely going to become addicts. So what we think is a good thing, say, because they gave the person alcohol when they were small, it helped them to become, they can withstand alcohol. No, that person is an alcoholic. That person is an addict. So the fact that you can drink 5 bottles and it does not shake you is not a good thing. You should be worried because it means that you've had early exposure and now you have built a level of resistance that is still killing that person. Our adults are already complaining of liver and kidney disease based on alcohol. Then imagine giving children.
And can we just say that it doesn't help the postpartum bleeding? We were given that impression that it helps, really. In fact, the hot water, this is just punishment. Personally, I want doctors to come and tell us about the whole hot water science that we're told. Postpartum is just basic care. You drink alcohol, doesn't help it. The sapele water thing doesn't do magic. That's the truth.
It doesn't shrink the stomach.
It doesn't shrink any stomach. All the sapele people I know,
you want to shatter. This culture that you want to rewrite.
And somebody says propaganda. The southeastern person is my neighbor, and I know his state. He still goes in December, so please thank you.
Your own is general. You say it's generalization.
He's not.
We'll take a quick break.
I made an instance of one person copying it.
We'll continue with the conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
It's not generalization. I said one person copied it. I said.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Dreams don't have to be out of reach. Whether you aspire to be a scientist, pushing boundaries, or an artist, bringing joy to the world, a software engineer, designing the future, or a fashion designer, Nelfund has got you sorted. With interest-free loans, Nelfund is breaking down financial barriers to higher education. So, pursue your dreams without worry. Nelfund empowers you to focus on what truly matters. To apply, log on to www.nelf.gov.ng. Fill out your application forms and await verification. Once verified, your tuition will be sorted. Nelfund, we pay, you study, you conquer. Nelfund is an initiative of His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, aimed at providing financial support to students across the nation.
The sport is very, very important to the special kid needs. Engaging in this kind of activities, moving the wheelchair with the strength, is a form of exercise to reduce that stiffness of the muscle. It makes them to be self-dependent, not depending. We should believe that there is ability in their disabilities.
It's amazing how your child grows up before your eyes. Enable their thriving development with the new NanKid 4 with HMOs to support your child's development, probiotics and high-quality proteins. And all of these work together to support your child's development and growth today and tomorrow. NanKid 4, nourish your child's potential.
Mealtime is game on. Meet my Sure Bet Game Changer, made from natural ingredients to deliver game-changing chicken aroma and taste for my whole team.
Mom, why did we not use this before?
Upgrade your chicken game with game-changing chicken flavor from Maggi Chicken.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. So before, while we're on break, we're arguing let's not generalize the culture. People are learning it, but the truth is, even if we don't generalize, history remembers that there were places where they were killing twins. Mm-hmm. History remembers there were places where some things people used to genital mutilation. Is known for history we know it that Southwest were doing genital mutilation. Has the highest. So we cannot, we must be able to say the truth and not feel like, oh, we'll be called out for saying the truth as statistically been recorded. That there's a particular area of Nigeria where it's accepted that when you are pregnant, you can drink to relieve the pain or stress you are feeling, and when you have a baby, just put finger into alcohol and drop a few drops into the mouth of the child to calm the child down. The calming of child down is that you are affecting the baby's nervous and regular response medically. And I feel we should educate we should educate people to change this culture, because it is not serving us. We're now having a generation of alcoholics as adults that can be avoided. So let's talk about the police reaction to this. The police is searching for, what should they do? Should they arrest the child, arrest the mother? What's the punishment going to be like? Will they now imprison? Like, what are we going to do?
The proper department should be the Ministry of Women Affairs. Find that mother, arrest her, let her understand the implication. Number one is that maybe she doesn't know the implication of what she's doing to her baby. She also doesn't know the implication of what she's doing on her page.
Because if you know, why would you post it?
Yeah.
If you know,
you are just starting a terrible trend, a very bad example, and you think that will get, because it's possible that she's doing what Amaka said, just to garner following. This of course will evoke a lot of reactions, and so maybe a lot of engagement on her page will happen. But then somebody must school her. There must be consequence for it. And if it's possible, we have social welfare in some states. I hope if it's Lagos, they can take her baby. She should know that. They can in Lagos take her baby. I cannot verify for other states, but for Lagos, they can take her baby. If she's not a fit parent, she might lose her baby. You know, so she should know better than to do this, and the consequence must be meted out to discourage others. You know, Tope, I was just thinking as we're talking about, you know, some of my friends who grew up to become alcoholics, they were exposed to it from returning bottle. I didn't grow up in Ikoyo. You know those bottle drinks that they came in bottles. Or you go give Mama Dagbaja. That's when you see them licking off the drops.
Emptying the bottle.
Emptying the bottle on behalf of the guests and their parents. And you know, Dr. Oshodi, Yewande Oshodi was here. She's a neuropsychologist, I think. She was on our show back then before we had the fire. And one of the things she said to me, said, for an adult to grow beyond 20 years before they taste alcohol, then they grow the ability to control themselves. But if they do taste it under that age, there will be a problem for life. Neurologically. I compared it to my addiction to Gary. My kids, I thought, no, they will never take Gary. But every afternoon I come back, I'm doing Gary and my groundnut mix. And my kids always wonder, today we are dealing with it. This one is begging to take Gary to school. The school is saying no. My son, every day, as if it's a tradition, be looking for Gary up and down. So imagine if it was alcohol. I had a bar in my house.
Yes,
problem.
And we also need to look at the fact that what the law says in terms of what's the legal age for drinking, first of all, alcohol in Nigeria. That's 18 years, right?
In Nigeria, it's 18.
In Nigeria, it's 18. And so that should tell you something. There's a reason why legal age to drink, because they expect you to be responsible and everything. Then this one has taken away that right from the child to decide, or that choice to decide if they want to take alcohol or not. So you force that on that child, right? Yes, and so a crime. So that's a crime on its own. You committed a crime.
Exactly.
Do you understand? Yes, even though in most parts of Nigeria it's still not enforced, where even like the clubs and everything, the Nigeria is not a place where they ask you for your ID or whatever to go in or to buy alcohol, which so is not enforced, right? But you've taken away that choice, that power of choice from that child to decide if they want to ever take alcohol or not. And you've done this is a criminal offense, and that's why the police has gotten involved. That woman should be arrested. And then I hope that woman, if that it's just content that she's creating, that she's able to prove that the content in that sachet,
whichever way,
does not matter.
It doesn't matter. You must take it
the
at face value.
that whether you are putting juice inside the sachet, what you have communicated to the world.
Amaka don't give her defense.
No, even if it is juice, what you communicate to the world is that you put alcoholic drink into your child, and you are pushing it as a narrative of something that people can do, because we all learn, we're all learning things. So you see something online and you might end up doing it. So I like the reference of the police.
So the grace will the grace that should be extended shouldn't be that she should not face any repercussions for it. Good. The grace would be in the levity, you know, how much of it that she do. But I would love to see her doing some form of community service.
Exactly.
I would love to see her being seated down and educated. Then I would like to see that her homework is that she goes to her community and educates other mothers about the dangers of feeding your child alcohol. It's very important it's conversation actually, because as we have heard, people in their communities still believe it's something that is okay. So there's a lot of teaching that needs to go on.
And she also needs to come back on social media and then apologize and tell people that narrative that she was pushing is not the right one, because some people have taken this and they've gone with it and they might not have the opportunity to now see the other side of it. So it's quite important that, you know, she bears the consequences and comes back, apologizes, and then does educational video to show that this narrative that was trying to push was actually the wrong one.
So Sir Michael is saying, I beg, calm down, Nima. Where is your compassion? I don't have compassion for this mother right now. So I didn't follow my pregnancies. My compassion is for the child, and that you're a mother does not mean you're a perfect parent. You're not. You're the biological mother does not mean you're the best parent. Some babies are better off with some of their relatives than with their mothers, and so I don't have any compassion for her.
What do people think about licenses for mothers to be? To prove that you're taking a competent mother.
For parents generally, because sometimes they put too much pressure on the mother alone. You know, they are comments, but it's a
no, because people have said you need, before you know, there are things
drive.
you can drive, you need to do like a test.
Yes.
Before you can vote, you need to be like 18 and things like that. And then this is the most important thing you have to do as the work.
Custodian
Why have we not thought of
life?
Yes,
because of human life, I have not thought of it.
Just
I said,
anybody.
as I'm looking old like this, when I got into a club this time, I was in London. I was asked for my ID, and I told the guy, as in, look at me. He said, your ID.
Not by look.
How to show ID? It's not by look. How much more? A baby. Wicked.
Very, very.
It's
so, I would like to, as we round off, we'll move on to another topic. I wanted to just say that we should appeal to the antenatal. People should go to, when you're pregnant, go for antenatal, attend the trainings, because it helps you. You don't know how to be a mother. Even if you have raised your younger ones, you really don't know new knowledge on how to
and you need all the knowledge before those mama will come with their knowledge. Somebody put toothpaste on navel. I saw this one. See, please, this
as antiseptic.
You're not supposed to put anything on the navel.
What is toothpaste supposed to do? What was her intention?
She said it was supposed to help the umbilical cord heal faster.
Oh my God!
Somebody else told her. Instead of cleaning with spirit that we all know, she puts toothpaste.
So she doesn't know.
So you know, you don't know these things. Before those mama will come, please take a few 2-3 months course, and it's 9 months pregnancy. Take the course.
Do you know, as much as what you are saying is right, but you're still talking to people who even have small common sense. There are people just on the streets now, getting pregnant, having children, dumping them, treating it as if it's not a human being. There are so many of them right now, happening today as we're speaking. And that number scares me.
So the police said that their responsibility is to protect lives and, you know, children and prevent child abuse. This is a child abuse situation.
Yes,
so definitely we expect for the police to be doing. But there were other things that we mentioned during the break that I think we should actually talk about. Having, exposing our children to alcohol by having a bar in the house. You know, I don't know how it is now, because I don't live the kind of life where I send my children to go and buy me alcohol. But I know people that they'll be like, they send their child to go and buy them cigarettes, send their child to go and buy them a bottle of drink, or buy them, you know, hard drinks. And these are underage children. And those things are exposure that we should talk about. I'd like to have your take on all of the different exposures that children get to have, and we don't see it as a big deal. We see it as, you're a small child, I'm supposed to send you on errand, and you're supposed to just be a responsible. My
parents allowed us to be rude to our neighbors when it comes to alcohol. I wasn't allowed to buy it for somebody. I wasn't allowed to buy cigarettes for somebody, and I will endorse my child to even speak rudely at any adult that forces them to go buy it.
No, you don't have to be rude. You just say, no, my parents don't allow you. No,
knowing me,
you cannot encourage a child to be rude. There's no excuse.
Amaka, I said I would endorse it.
No.
I do not allow my kids to be rude, but on this one, you know me, and you call my child. If I say something, they worry you. My child is permitted. My child is permitted to be rude to you because you've crossed the line. In my family, we didn't take alcohol. Yeah, we didn't take alcohol. My wedding, there was no serving of alcohol. You had to go and sit outside. And then you look at a child that I'm raising, and you decide that child should go and buy alcohol. You definitely want to ruin my life or ruin my plan for my kids. So the child is allowed to speak up rudely as if possible at you, and throw your money at you.
Well, it's just different style. And to tell you, in this case, I'm right.
You shouldn't.
I'm right with Dima when it comes to sending my child to get some substances. Yes, I would like for my child to be able to speak up and even err on the side of rudeness. I'm willing for that to happen.
I will defend it.
Yes, because but you know, sending a child to buy those things is not less. It's not more sinister than the ones who have bars at home. So because you are not sending your child, but you have a whole bar in your house with all sorts of drinks, and then you have your teenage children and then you are feeling that I don't ask them to buy anything, but uncle, you are buying it and you are keeping it and displaying it in your home because you're just in the same position.
I had to make that conversation in my house with my husband, like, see, we need to get rid of every form of alcohol in the house because if the teenagers are growing, they are waking up in the middle of the night to go and eat cake from the freezer. They are waking up to eat.
Turn on the internet.
So it feels like, and a lot of movies that we see already shows relaxation is with a bottle. Relaxation. Many movies. All the movies you see now. Once you finish your work, the close of work is with a bottle.
We'll take a drink.
And that is, my son had to ask me, watching a series, like, why, how come every day they drink? I said, but you see me drinking every evening. So it's obviously a film, and so it's about every day. Once they finish work, they just go to the bar and drink, or come to the house and they are drinking. So we are also using this.
They don't even eat a meal in full movies. The entire scene, they always have their conversations over a bottle. But
there's no food, there's no water, there's no juice.
Yesterday, the head of the Nigerian Film and Video Censors Board, I watched his interview yesterday, and in watching it, I saw his emphasis on how he's incapacitated with social media. You know, we just talked about this. You know, if it was a social media, if it was a movie, you would have form of power to, to censor it. And now social media, the person just did a 2-minute movie. Damaging enough. And we're saying, I don't have apologies for a child who is rude to say, no, this is wrong. If you need to school an adult, school them. School them as emphatically as you can.
But the reality, at the end of the day is that we have to protect children, right? 100%. But then when they turn 18, at the end of the day, everybody has a choice. You tasted, do everybody tasted the alcohol?
They say train up a man in the way he wants him to go. When they grow up, they don't depart from it. So
all of us, for this table, all of us taste.
Yes.
And all of us taste.
I didn't want to say, but
where did we taste it?
I tasted and I decided that it wasn't for me.
And you were probably an adult.
That's what I'm saying. When I not child. 18, that's what I said.
Okay, let me also use my personal story. I didn't want to, but I will, just because it's a learning thing. So growing up, I would say, my mom is there to confirm, you can ask, but growing up as a child, I would say that I was one of those children that they would use as a good example. See how she behaves, why can't you be like that? So I was a good child, good example, responsible. But did I take alcohol as an underage child? Yes, I did. I did, because we used to travel for Christmas. And at the time when we used to travel for Christmas, there was a lot of alcohol around, and there was a place where they used to keep alcohol, the choicest wines, they put them there. And as teenagers, where the adults were not watching, we'll go into that room, you take one, and some even came in some mini bottles. They came with different tastes and different. We would take care of ourselves. And I remember telling my auntie that, did you know we did that? She was in shock. She was in shock. One, the good one. Two, I thought that I was there properly as an adult to watch over you, to make sure people were not doing, and yet even in that very ideal scenario, you were able to do that. So yes, we will find our children be so curious that they will make some bad decisions. So we also pray for that. And then but the ideal thing is to keep teaching them. I knew it was wrong, because I've been told alcohol was wrong in my home. I knew underage drinking was I abused it then in that room. We abused it, we drank it well, and then we went to sleep.
I had my drinks. But wasn't good. That's why these days, whenever I'm with my friends, I don't leave my drink and come back to it. Because of my overolioli, they spiked it for me. I came, I took my drink, and the thing went to my brain immediately. I was like,
because it's not something you're used to.
It's tonic. And I left that party immediately because I knew
Welcome to the show, Lubumi. Oh, we lost that call.
No, from the kind of person that I don't know my taste buds. That I don't drink not because I don't want to, but just because it's just something. The taste, the smell, everything. I just don't like it. So a couple of times, my family members maybe were out, family gathering. I'll leave and then they'll put a drink, they'll put something. They just want to know your own. Wow. Maybe I just take it like I want to even taste it. I already know there's something in my drink. I don't know.
No,
it puts me off.
My husband was shocked when we got married. We went to see an uncle and they brought a bottle. I just looked at the bottle. I said it has some percentage of alcohol. I won't take it. And he said, how did you know? They sent a fruit wine. I said, me? I know alcohol now because of that one experience. Because it was my close friends who spiked my drink. So I was in a safe place, supposedly, when I came in and I took a sip from my drink. And the thing burnt me all the way down, went to my head.
But statistics is showing new information. They say Gen Zers are taking less alcohol than previous generations. And they are moving, and they are also moving away from, they are moving much more towards a healthier wellness lifestyle than we ever did. So that's something that
they're taking a lot of drugs.
There's a lot of drugs too.
Less alcohol, but more drugs, more pills. They are popping pills.
Things are happening.
Yes, they're popping pills. They are not drinking, but they are doing other things to stay high.
Worse things. God will help us.
At the end of the day, it's conversation, right? And then education. We will get back to that education last.
It's important.
Because we've discussed alcohol in children, teenagers, adults. I think that we should let's go back and do alcohol with pregnancies. And
please, before we do that, I need to respond to truth is truth. I'll see the comment dropping. I can only quickly read them. talking about me saying I permit my child to be rude to an adult, that offer them on alcohol.
Each person parents
everybody parent your child. My efforts so far, I'm actually every effort to parent my children, I have to go and pray for God to make it work. I have the fear as a parent that children, no matter how perfect your parents are, they don't really always, not all the cases do they turn out the way
some rebel.
You play, so you pray that my mother always says, after correcting your child, pray. You pray that your child, that God endorses your effort. I cannot be putting in this much effort. You see the life I'm living, holding myself as the role model to my kids, and you, as a close relative, family member or friend, decide to do otherwise around me. If you do it, my child should insult you. I've said it today, go and put it anyway. My child, throw the money at that adult. If that is what it will take.
And can I ask you a question?
That is acceptable for Nima.
Perfect for me.
I
don't correct
will not accept it in my household. I would teach my children to speak up, but I will tell them they can speak up without being
alcohol,
rude. And you know the thing is, it is okay for me to parent my children the way I find it suitable.
Can I give you a scenario?
For Nima to do
I had mothers around my mom. My mom was training us to be chaste kids. Sorry, you want to go? I had.
Let her take the call.
Yes, let me take the call. Welcome to the show. Hello, are you there? We lost the last caller, so I don't want to lose this one.
Please, take the call.
Hello. Ouch. Mary Jane, welcome to the show. Good morning. Oh, we lost the caller. I'm so sorry. But
so, Tope, we were 4 girls. My mother was doing all her best by her standard to raise her girls. But we had a few of our neighbors who would call us and say, that guy is asking you out. I've taken number for him. Go to his house now. Nothing is there. And those people I just knew, they would never take responsibility for how you go. Whatever comes out of it. They would, also have collected money. Growing up, those were my experiences. I wish, that my mother had allowed some form of rudeness, because when you come back and you're accusing, the person won't allow you put in a word. Their voice is usually louder. My kids, if they're watching this video, are permitted to tell a person, my mother will not allow me. If you emphasize and say, I'm an adult, go for me first. All those nonsense that happened when we're growing up. Please, you are permitted to be rude to that adult. Throw their money at them, come and tell me and I will defend you. That's the truth, because you cannot be working for your own to be good and be working against my own and be around me. You are the devil himself.
Can I give you a real-life scenario that happened? So, you go to a club, and the thing with Nigerian clubs is that very old men still go to clubs with very young children, and this, I think 18, 19-year-old was in the club, and she got up wearing a short outfit, and this older man smacks her on the bum. And the question was, how should she have responded? Because he's a much older person and she's much younger. She should have said, I'm so sir, you should not have done that, I'm so sorry. Or should she have done what she did, which is she took a glass of water and turned it on his head because he refused to respect himself. So people were actually discussing that she should not have been rude. Even in that scenario, she should not have been rude to that.
She's 18. She's an adult. She's termed an adult. She's 18. She's not a child.
Both adult. Did they marry?
They are both adults.
But in Nigeria, she's not a child.
I get you. It's a very thin line. In that scenario, I will end up. I feel like my being polite also made me a bit more vulnerable.
Yes.
But so there's a vulnerability with that. Be polite. So we need to find that balance in being firm, even as we are being polite. Because I mentioned it that I've had a near rape situation with a neighbor, and he was with a neighbor, and it was the niceness. I just like that. This thing will happen. I just took his key and I stabbed him it was really bleeding. I started shouting,
I will leave you what he did and be discussing your key. So we'll leave what he did and be discussing that you stabbed him in your defense.
Exactly. So
I'm not on that
if you are in that space.
So when because I want us to understand it, when a parent says to the point, there are some things where I feel that there is a point where a child can be rude. A child will be forgiven for being rude. And I was just going to say that because even if you look at this conversation, we have put all our emphasis on the fact that she has talked about the rudeness and not the reason why she has mentioned.
Yes. Let's not move away from the reason. Mary, welcome to the show. Good morning. I'll come to Yamaka.
Sorry.
This one, I took it too.
Yes. Now, so let's not forget the fact that we're bringing other scenarios on the fact that the issue is on sending a child message and how a child should respond. Let's not take away from that is the bone of contention here.
No. That was not the bone of contention. That was not the bone of contention.
Don't send my child on
alcohol.
Yes,
that's what I'm saying, on alcohol.
Don't expose my child to something I consider evil.
That's what I'm saying, that sending the child
my child to the market.
The bone of contention here is not sending, is the alcohol she's talking about.
That's what I'm saying, the alcohol. That's what I'm saying, the alcohol.
So in my head, I'm thinking that
for the fact that, let me land. So for the fact that a child is not rude doesn't mean that it shouldn't be firm. You can be firm. You can put. You can. I'm coming. Everybody has spoken. Let me speak. You can be firm. You can be firm in saying no. That doesn't make you weak. That doesn't make you docile.
And it doesn't mean you are rude.
That doesn't mean that you're rude. There are certain kids that naturally they are quiet, they are calm, and everything. Their expression. I'm not. I was a quiet and calm child, but then I was a very firm child. I'm still a very firm person. I'm not a trouble person or whatever, but I'm a very firm person. By the time you look at my face and when I open my mouth, I'm not rude. When I open my mouth and I speak, you know not to move or step on my toes. So what I'm trying to say is that I believe that you can be firm. You don't have to be rude.
Yeah.
Okay.
For you.
Yeah. A lot of us growing
up, for them, they have that. So that we don't change the conversation.
Let's not dwell on this.
We have discussed it already.
Let's not move away
we have accepted that for some person's parenting is allowed. For other person's parenting is not allowed. Choose the one that works for you, but ensure that you give your children the bandwidth on what is acceptable and what is acceptable. So your child must know. I cannot do this kind of errand. I cannot do this type. I can do this type.
Don't go that.
It's not allowed.
You are just a shameless adult.
So my mom has said I cannot do this kind of thing. Oh, help me to even. I'm thinking about that. I don't have my children are not in a place where they can even be sent those kind of errands. However,
but you don't know when a relative is visiting.
It can happen in a party. You cannot be in a party together and you have adult section, children section, and your child is being sent to go and collect a drink from the specific one from the adult bar or something, and the child is on his way and he takes a sip. You want to protect your children from this kind of thing. So specify, these are errands. Mommy, I'm not allowed to. Auntie, I'm not allowed to do this type of errand. And if it gets to the level of being, if your parents equip you to be rude in the situation. If my own children, I won't equip them to be rude, but I'll equip them to be able to speak up.
It's important to speak up, but most of us grew up unable to speak about the evil. You're speaking about the evil, they're addressing nobody's addressing the adults. The adult has to be addressed in the room. You call it out. But we were made to become respectful. My mother used to beat me to conform to that respect. And I saw the dangers, I saw the damage. It was a choice for me to turn out right. I could have followed those parents. The woman that asked me, follow the guy now, waiting there, he go just touch you small. She knew my parents' standards. She knew my parents' standards. It was a choice. And whenever I try to say, hey, you didn't have to, I say, I'm angry. How do I say it? You're shutting me up. My child will not be shut up.
Yes,
my child will go rude.
That one we know that.
So avoid my child.
I was just
go to your friend's
this
child.
is a quite controversial issue because we have actually discussed this before, and I remember saying it that I would allow, there's some instances that I would like my child to err even onto the point of being rude. And it came with a lot of backlash. Even Nima did not support me on that case. But it just shows you that, there comes a point, there's something per parent that for them, that's the last and final line. Like in China, I learned when they were talking about safety, they said, this is a red line for us. You must not. They don't even understand it. So every parent has a red line and would hope that they want their child to be able to stand up and speak up for themselves and protect themselves. So the rudeness is not really about you, the adult. It's them protecting themselves. And then we'll deal with the
And it's important, relatives who live in. So you're living in your house, your own uncle is visiting. He's gotten exposure, he's putting your child at risk. It's not just neighbors, it's relatives, those uncles.
Honestly, we're out of time. I remember my mom fighting with a neighbor that, how can you know that my only daughter has a boyfriend and you did not tell me? Because it was expected that everybody is watching out for each other. And then she found out that the mom of the boyfriend is someone in our association of suppliers. And she went to that one and said, you are wicked. Like, you are 100% a wicked person. And I think we need to get back to that place of parenting. If I see something with any anybody here's child, I will tell the parents because it is.
I would appreciate it, please.
Because it is important. We should do it for each other.
Yes. Don't just tell me.
Correct
the child all the way.
Tell me.
I will not correct the child.
I will not beat your child.
Because
I will tell you.
People get to do things that your other parents do not know is being done. So if the parents don't know, tell the parents. This is what your child is doing. So that they will not say they don't know. Somebody told me my children used the F word. That was like a year or two ago. I was shocked.
Like, no.
I said, do you know my son? I'm like, you don't know my son.
And my upbringing.
Because I don't allow it in my life. I don't use it. Only for him to say, is it not like, is it S? Like I saw, he pointed at the boy. I said, you used.
It happened. On Saturday, I hosted 11-year-old children. My daughter turned 11 while I was away, so she just had a few of her friends. It's not like anything bad happened, but I saw these children act like themselves without their parents there. Like all I saw were little ladies, like ladies like us, having conversation like us, but it's just that they were 11. They are just like us. There's one, and for everyone, I could tell who their mother was because of their behavior. If you have a mother that your daughter is doing the same thing. If you have a sharp mouth, if you are sharp-mouthed, know that when you are not there, your daughter is doing exactly what you're doing. It was just interesting to see that they are full adults, full
like our time is completely done, but remember why we started this conversation. Educating ourselves. It is the key to growth, it's the key to development. What you don't know will still hurt you. Giving children alcohol is very, very bad. Drinking alcohol as a pregnant person, very bad. Drinking when you are breastfeeding, equally bad. Everything you eat goes through the breast milk into your child. So in case you don't know, now you know. Pass on the knowledge. That's what we can take on the show. See you tomorrow. Bye.